My name is Eric Spencer. I've been a coal miner for 30 years. I have a long history of coal mining in my family. My grandfather, my father, uncles, and brothers worked in all the mines. First coal mine, I worked in 4 different coal mines. First coal mine I worked in was actually 42 inches high. I worked there for a number of years. Then I went to 26 Colliery, Phelan Colliery, and Prince Colliery. I worked in collieries that there was 900 men and 1,200 men worked in each colliery, so you get to meet a lot of friends. A lot of my relatives work in the mines too. I've lost a lot of friends and I lost a lot of relatives through mine disasters and accidents, but that's part of the job. You put up with it. I can't explain what it would be like to go to work with 1,200 men, 400 men to a shift. The camaraderie among men underground is just, there's not enough adjectives to describe how well we got along, how we had each other's backs down there, how we looked after one another. So I always gave you a good feeling when you're entering into a coal mine. They say it's one of the most dangerous professions on the earth. It certainly is. But when you go down there knowing everybody has your back, it gives you a great sense of relief that, well, you're looking after one another. You go to work every day hoping that you come back the same way you went, but you have to go to work. You got to put food on the table. If you want to live around here, when I was growing up, my mother and father always said, get an education, get an education. Because one thing about working a coal mine, that's one thing you did not need, was any sort of education at all. All you needed was a strong back. But later on, when technology came into the mine, at the end of the 1980s, you needed a grade minimum of grade 10 on the kind of technology. But the way I regret, and I never regretted the day going to work, I've had some personal tragedies in the mine. I've lost a brother-in-law, I lost numerous relatives, but some close ones. And these things happened at the spur of the moment. One was through an explosion, and the other one was just through a mine accident. When you work in a mine, you can expect anything to happen at any time. But it's not always on the top of your mind, because you would never survive working in a mine if you were thinking every day you were going to be killed. But I guess you can call coal mining blood, sweat, and tear. I certainly saw my share of blood, and I certainly sweated, and I certainly cried over a lot of my best friends when I found out they either hurt seriously or we lost them. Just hoping that you're going to do your job, put enough food on the table, keep your family alive and support them, and it's a job that I like doing. My wife always said that she thought there was something wrong with me because I was always leave to go to work a half hour earlier just to carry on with the guys in the wash house before we would go to work. I think any visitor coming to Cape Breton, the Mines Museum, is a must for them to see. They have to realize, I don't know, but it should be pointed out that they will be taken underground by a retired miner who has lived that life. He's walked a mile in their shoes, and you couldn't get a greater person to explain coal mining history and the way it's developed and to where we are today, unless you went down with a miner who has at least 20 years experience in the coal mine. He'll take you by the hand and he'll walk you through it, and he'll explain to you, and when at the end of the day, when they'll come up to you, and you can always tell when they're shaking your hand and very sincerely saying, this has been the highlight of my trip.